Hello, this is Kent Philpott again, program number 5 in our series on Wicca. And my title for the essay and for these videos is It Real? We're getting down to, on the my essay, point number 8, and it's titled Summerland. Now, there's going to be a series of short ones now. Summerland. Summerland beckons. It is not heaven, and it is not hell. Some witches believe it is where spirits go after death to rest and reflect in the company of the god and goddess and to decide how they are going to reincarnate. Each soul chooses who it will be and what lesson it will learn in its new lifetime. Once it is reincarnated, it does not remember what its lesson is, but must find out by living through all the experiences of its new life. If a soul does not wish or need to reincarnate right away, it may become a spirit guide. It reminds me of the Hindu bodhisattva, who, instead of going into enlightenment and escaping the wheel and getting out of the pain cycle, it reincarnates when it doesn't have to, and becomes like a guru or a really enlightened individual helping other people. Similar idea, apparently. Ultimately, each spirit, after it has learned all it needs to learn and taught what it needs to teach, is reunited with the all. In each lifetime, the spirit advances toward this ultimate goal. Though Wiccans believe that all animals have souls, they do not go to Summerland. Since the souls of animals are so pure, they have no lessons to learn in this life. When I read this stuff, not only do I ask, is it real, but where do you get this from? Who's the authority? What do you cite? I mean, how do you know? That's where it gets close to the idea of make-believe. Somebody's got to come up with this, but who and what is the source of the authority, and is there any truth behind it at all? Or is it just stated and people just go along? Part number 9. What is energy, and what is meant by visualization? For some Wiccans, energy and deity are the same thing. Or some call such the life force. For others, deity is sentient, and energy is not. Still others think that energy emanates from deity, or that it comes from the goddess. The idea of a sentient, that means that there's a consciousness there, a sense of knowing, like we have. Others say that energy is power, and that of 3 types: personal power, divine power, and earth power. Now, visualization is the creating of a picture in the mind's eye of what it is the magician wants to happen. Once visualization occurs, energy follows thought. If you can see something in your mind, you can affect it or make it happen. Okay, that's energy and visualization. Part 10 is titled Trance and Path Working. Path, P-A-T-H. Trance and Path Working. This is a big deal in Wicca. A trance is a gently altered state of mind. Now, this is their material. This is not what I'm saying. Most of the stuff you're hearing is not my idea, and I don't believe in it, almost any of it, but I want you to know what they say. That's the point of this. So we're talking about trance. Trance is a gently altered state of mind, somewhere between being fully awake and asleep. Hypnotism is a trance state, for instance. Daydreaming is a form of light trance. During a trance, the conscious mind does not quite depart, though it may seem so, but it is occupied elsewhere, and the subconscious has freer ability to come to the forefront. Wiccans deny that there is any danger in being in a trance, but do assert that a person in a trance state is more vulnerable to ambient energies, because the conscious mind, which would normally trigger you to turn out unwanted energy, sounds, or other distractions, is on a little vacation when you are in a trance. Now, the Ambient energies, well, these could be anything. Nasty spirits, good spirits, neutral spirits. But they're around when, and you're vulnerable, in a sense, in the trance state. Path working depends upon the trance state. Path working is where you travel, maybe the astral travel idea, or in other people involved in trances refer to it as journeying. Path working depends upon the trance state. Trance states can be reached by any number of ways. Attempts at centering, balancing, grounding, relaxing, focusing on a single object, letting the mind wander, emptying the mind of all. These are some of the mechanisms commonly used to enter into trance. Drugs can be used, and extreme experiences such as in a sweat lodge, or the reduction of oxygen coming into the brain, and other esoteric practices are also employed. Once in the trance state, the path working can begin. Along the path, helpful guides may be encountered who can be asked for information. Likewise, your inner self, supposedly the personification of your subconscious, may be encountered. Or an animal or human spirit that is associated with a sacred site may be found. Also, path working can be used to meet with, talk to, and get information from the dead. The advice given to one during path work is to be polite to any entity or being that is encountered, be they human spirits, gods, fairies, elves, animal spirits, ghosts, folklore characters, or other entities. Part number 11, last part for this one, called divination. Divination means fortune telling. All the various mechanisms by which fortunes are told. Palm reading, tarot cards, the I Ching, pendulum, astrological charts. There's all kinds of them. So here's what is said about that. Wiccans will rely on various forms of divination to work their craft. Astrology and numerology are two chief forms of determining the future and making decisions used in Wicca. Divination is said to help with day-to-day decisions. Besides the aforementioned practices, the pendulum, runes, and tarot cards are commonly used. Now here's another connection with Santeria, because this is often what happens in Santeria. An individual goes to the Santero or Santera, and they have to determine what offerings are to be made. And so a big part of it is the casting of the shells and other means of divination. So here we have a very close connection between Wicca and Santeria. One more to go.